Hello, everyone. It is Friday. It is actually Friday.
I know. Wednesday. This is like the second time we've done this this week.
This week, right? We are back. We were here on Wednesday for a very special paint and slay where we did part 1 of the Modrons. And now we're here for part 2 of the Modrons, which are these lovely little ones that have been sitting here on my desk in front of me. So we're going to have some more fun painting these up. But before we get into the miniature painting, Lauren, what do we have going on this week for those who may not have been with us on Wednesday?
Well, the reason we're doing Modrons is because Nordum came out on Wednesday with the Great Modron March. It's Modrons all day, all the time. So march with a Modron in your party during the Great Modron March. So yeah, there he is. And then, of course, there's the special Modron Penelope skin, because what's more adorable than a Modron but Penelope dressed up as a Modron, skipping along. Also, there were a whole bunch of releases that happened on Wednesday for the Modron Supercharged system. And so you can make your Modron cores even better. And there is now Split the Party 3, which lets you have a 4th party. So you can have 4 parties going on at the same time. So it's a Modron party. It's a party of parties. So there was a lot going on. We also have the wonderful Martin as our moderator in chat. They're going to be hanging out, grabbing any questions that come from the wonderful people in chat, because Via and I are going to be, working on painting these minis, and sometimes I miss things in chat. So Martin will be grabbing those. Make sure you put question in big capital letters before your question so that Martin can grab it and stick it in the appropriate backstage chat for us. I'm going to stop knocking over my paints.
That might be helpful.
And I think that's everything. We're keeping it kind of nice and simple because, we were here on Wednesday doing the beginning of these Modrons for the Modron Supercharged system. And it is not windy today. So fingers crossed, I should not lose my power in the middle of the show.
For you.
I'm
saying the one with the storms now.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So fingers crossed we all get to stick around, because that was, I'll say this, as much as that sucked, at least when I lost power, it was right towards the end of the stream.
Really? Seriously?
So yeah. But today it's all gonna be smooth sailing.
Beautiful and fun. We're gonna have a fantastic time. So for those of you who weren't here on not Monday. Good. This is how my brain's been working. I've been living in different months and weeks and days. So on Wednesday, I was discussing why we are doing 2 different styles of techniques for the Modron. So this one we're going to do, you've seen me do it before. It's the shadow layer. It's what we did with the Myconids and everything like that, but with metallic paint. So that's what we're going to do for our monodrone. What we're going to do for our duodrone is something called non-metallic metal. So it's basically you're using paints that aren't metallics, but the end result will give you what looks like a metal effect. So this is a construct dragon that I have that I've painted using that technique, just to give you an idea of what we are aiming for when all is said and done. And there is a cat hair. Yes, there is a cat hair, but there is not a bit of metallic paint used on this particular miniature. So that being
Even
said,
clockwork dragons have cats for pets.
Have cats for. I mean, it checks out. It makes sense
Cats
to
are
me.
everywhere. Maybe it was a
Absolutely.
tabaxi that made that clockwork
Right?
dragon. You never know.
Oh, I kind of like that. All right, cool. So we're going to be doing a lot of dry brushing for the time being, but we're also going to be doing it in 2 different phases. So we're going to do one and then let that dry as we do the other one with the rounds of dry brush colors that we're going to do. So which do you prefer? Do you want to do the monodrone first or the duodrone first?
I feel like since they are Modrons, that we should go in numerical order because that is the most lawful thing. So let's go monodrone, duodrone.
That's fair. Okay, so
I will just say this from chat real quick. Banyan says, V, saw the pictures of the tiefling. She came out beautifully.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I enjoyed painting her. And there's another really cool mini I'm doing this weekend, which I can't wait to do. But you got to follow me on the socials, check out the tweeter, and that'll get you there. So what we're going to do first is you're going to want that black and you're going to want your Stonewall Gray. And we're going to make a mid-tone gray color first. So like a nice steely gray is what we're aiming for. And why is it today my desk is feeling small? I don't know what happened here. Hold on.
I don't know.
There we go.
We do have a lot of paint. This is probably the most amount of paint I've had out for any of our creatures.
Exactly what it is, because we have so much paint where I normally put other stuff. The other stuff is taking up space on the that'll do it.
Okay, so how much black to how much gray?
I'm gonna do equal parts. Equal parts black to the Stonewall Gray. And that'll give us our first round for dry brushing this. And we don't need too much because we're just doing the one.
And it's dry brushing, which doesn't take much.
Yeah, it doesn't take much because it is dry brushing. And then if you're new here, hi. Thanks for joining.
Where's Helen? Did we lose
Helen? Helen, come here, honey. Come here, honey.
Helen.
Hi. Hello. Helen has cat hairs too. Okay, so clearly one of my cats was just walking around my desk when I was sleeping last night.
Oh, Helen.
Oh, you were sleeping. Yes. Helen is our little mascot, and she is our adorable, helpful roper.
Mostly because we just like going, hi!
Reminder roper, that's what we called her. I was like, wait, is it helpful roper? It was reminder roper.
Reminder roper.
Yes.
Because alliteration.
And Helen holds up messages for me on my desk when I need to do something and I don't want to forget the next day. I just pop a message in her tentacles and they're there.
There you go.
That's literally it. So you can see I have this nice darker gray going, which I'll show here on my hand because,
Hey.
There we go. So what we're going to do is dry brush this all over the monodrome.
All over.
Including
the base, because I was bad last time.
We are all about the base and the rest of the body.
All right. And for those who are new, since we're going to be doing a metric ton of dry brushing today.
Yes.
What is dry brushing and how do you do it? Because we haven't talked about dry brushing in a while.
That's fair. Dry brushing is a technique where you load some paint onto the tip of your brush, and it's a flat brush. It's not a round brush. So you load some paint onto the tip of your flat brush, and then you go to a paper towel and you remove the paint until you start seeing it streak like that. It's a little hard to show on the white paper towel because white likes to flare back with mini painting lighting. But once it starts to streak, kind of like what you see here on my hand towards the base, then you move it to your miniature, and keeping it so that your brush sort of glides along the upper surface of your mini, you take it to help bring out the details in the miniature. So I'm going to do this on the wings right now, do a little dry brush detail here. So this is one of the wings with some dry brushing. That is one of the wings without it. So it just pops the detail out a little bit more. And what I do, what I call as shadow layers, I will do some dry brushing ahead of time and help really intensify the shadows and the highlights of the mini by bringing it up in a bunch of different tones. So in this case, for the monodrone, we're going to do different tones of gray. For the duodrone, we're going to do different tones of browns. Golden browns, warm browns.
The warmest of browns.
Because we're trying to mimic that metallic golden color. So that's what dry brushing is. And it's a
Yeah.
very helpful technique to have. It definitely helps bring out the details. And depending on who is your mini painter or how the person decides they want to paint their mini, dry brushing can be used in various phases of painting your mini. You may oftentimes see it done towards the end after a wash. That is not unheard of, but I tend to go whenever I feel like it.
Now, here's an interesting question, because we've done lots of dry brushing, but I think this is the first time that I have experienced this kind of mini with a dry brush. The back of this monodrome is very smooth.
Yes.
Do you still dry brush it?
Yep, and you want it to be kind of splotchy because that's going to give it the metallic effect, a little bit more of a boost, because it sort of creates this false texture in a way.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because you know how when you look at metal, it's not, unless it's been polished, you see like all these different variations to the tones of the metal?
Yeah.
That'll start creating that sort of effect for you when you do that. And I'm even going, oh, this is going to be fun. The spear is wiggly.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pointer and my thumb as I'm holding this to stabilize.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I was just getting to the spear myself, and I'm like, oh, this is
and then
it's going to be a moment.
It's a little bit easier to do it that way.
Also makes it a little bit easier to get under it. Just gently lift it up and be like, okay.
Here you go. It's your turn. Okay, so that takes care of the monodrone for that first round. And I want that to dry. So I'm going to rinse my dry brush.
I'm almost done.
Cool.
I've got the base to go.
All about that base.
I'm going to try not to forget the bases this time. Like I did last time. I was like, wait a second. You did your base. I didn't do mine.
Okay.
All right.
Then we're gonna move on to the duodrone, and we're gonna jump into straight up Beastie Brown.
Straight up Beastie Brown. Where are you, Beastie Brown? There you are.
Probably with the Beastie Boys. I had to.
Nothing. Beastie Boys. Beastie Brown Boys. Beastie, yeah. So nothing added to this?
Nothing added to it, just Beastie Brown on its own, and we're gonna dry brush that onto the duodrone.
All right.
Yes. Just make sure if you've rinsed your brush that your brush is nice and dry before you pick up the next color. Otherwise, it'll get really super streaky and not in a good way.
Oh, that's good to know.
So I just blotted it around on my paper towel just to make sure it was dry.
And we do have some questions that have come in. JDog2773 wants to know, Lauren, will you be observing Victoria Day, or will there be weekly patronage this Monday? What about Memorial Day the following week? Yes, this is one of those fun times in where those of us who are living in America and those of us who are living in Canada have different holidays going on.
We do.
Because as JDog pointed out, Monday is Victoria Day, and next Monday is Memorial Day. As for weekly patronage, I will be working on Monday because it is not a holiday for me. So I will be in, and weekly patronage will be happening this Monday. But then next Monday, I will not be working as it is a holiday for me. And so a week from this Monday, there will not be a weekly patronage. And I'll mention that on Monday when it comes up. Yeah. Hey, it's a holiday. It happens.
It does.
And we just try to do, in an office that has people that live in several different countries, we just try to do the best we can with what makes the most sense for who is living where and when. So yeah, there will be weekly patronage on Monday, and then there won't be the Monday after.
There you go.
That seemed to make the most sense.
That gotcha.
And Banana Mobster wants to know, and I'm going to try to say this as accurately as possible, as they've also tried to spell it as accurately as possible. Are you a fan of zenithal highlighting?
Zenithal.
Z-E-N-I?
Yep, zenithal. Yep.
Did we get it?
You got it.
Banana Mobster, high five.
You got it. I will use it. Bugger, I packed it away. I had big sample. I had one example. I packed it away.
Packed away your zenithal highlighting.
My zenithal, my most recent one. I will use it. I like it when I'm trying to make something look a little bit more intense. Or it sort of has it's set up in a position where, yes, it makes sense for it to have that lighting, because then it feels like the light's coming from a certain zone. So the shadow layers I do are a similar concept too, but it has a lot more depth doing it. It's oftentimes done with not a dry brush. No, well, you can do a dry brush, but an airbrush. That's the word I'm looking for. And you basically take the airbrush and you shoot it from a certain angle and just let the white fall on top of the black. And you get this really cool shading and shadowing effect.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Also, that's a fun thing to say. Zenithal.
And then you have your OSL, I think it's original source lighting. I always forget what the O stands for, where it's like the lighting is specifically targeted to a certain area. So like with spell effects, or if someone has a torch, you'll see people do that. I don't often tap into doing it myself personally because I'm not as much of a fan as others might be. But there are some painters who will absolutely embrace it, and they will be off and running with their OSL technique too. Again, a lot of it boils down to what your preference is as an artist and what you find pleasing to your eye.
Trying to get into this little gear in the waist area
tricky. Yeah, I'm doing that right now. I'm kind of honestly just letting the brush get to it if it can. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to get around there, but we're doing the best we can.
Yep. Hit me with your best shot.
Oh, and Noskin comes back. Why is it called Zenithal highlighting? Zenithal?
I don't know. Zenith. Probably it's okay. We're gonna English teacher this one. Originating from the word zenith, which means high above, up, high source of light type of thing. So it's a high source of not light, but because you're holding this is just me riffing, because you're holding the airbrush at a high point above. Maybe that's why they call it zenithal lighting, because it looks like the light's coming from above.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. That would be my guess.
Whether that is the reason or not, that is an explanation that makes sense. So I'm gonna say yes.
There we go.
Oh, and someone is asking, J-Dog is asking about weekend buff spoilers. I don't have that on me, but the weekend buffs should be active right now.
Yeah.
So if you go into the game, they should be active right now.
See, the problem is I always look at those like way too much ahead of time. So if you ask me, I'm like, I could give you what next week's is.
Yeah, I'm the same way when it comes to the weekend buffs and anything that is put out as a blog, because chances are I wrote that a week to a month ago.
Yeah.
You know what? I can look it up real quick while we're switching back to the Monodrone.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to the Monodrone, and that's gonna be just straight up Stonewall Gray.
I'll make life easy. Today is the 20th. This weekend is the Automation Mechanation Weekend, which is very appropriate for it being the Great Modron March. You can get clockwork chests, which look really cool.
It's that's just it. My mind just went to the chest that I remember approving the graphic on. Yep.
Yeah, the chests are super cool. And there are power-ups for Freely, Celeste, Calliope, Averin, and Shandy for this weekend. There you go. I have filled in adequately for Griddle Champions, because that's all that happens on Griddle Champions, right?
Of course.
All right, what's up next?
Now we're doing Stonewall Gray back to the Monodrone.
Okay.
Same
just
thing.
Straight Stonewall?
Straight Stonewall. Dry brushing everywhere. And it's definitely important at this point, make sure your brush isn't too overloaded, because you don't want to overbrush this and basically fill in more than you need to. But now we're going to go back in here for Stonewall. And you know what? We're going to...
And once again, everywhere?
Everywhere.
Everything everywhere all at once?
Yep. You can see this is even enhancing things a little bit more.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got into Painter Zen.
Yep, I was going to say,
it happened.
We just got quiet.
Yeah,
it does happen.
It happens. Welcome to Paint Slay, where every once in a while we just kind of get into the Painter Zen.
Yep.
There's something really nice about dry brushing everywhere, and then basically not having to worry about, oh, I only want to dry brush in this specific spot. It's just like, just kind of have fun with the brush.
Exactly.
Let it go everywhere. It's kind of like doing washes, except slightly more technique. A little bit more technique.
Just a touch. Just a little touch.
Yeah.
Oh, but look at all that yummy texture on the base.
Also, J Dog mentions that in order for it to really be Griddle Champions, I have to talk about Critical Role, which I can. I mean, last night's
Could,
episode
yeah.
was super fun, but I feel like
That's Sean's.
yeah,
That's Sean's. Let Sean
that's
have
Sean's baby.
the.
Also, there's going to be a lot of people who haven't seen the episode or only watched like half the
True.
episode because it goes
Very true.
late.
Yeah.
It goes late. You know, even for me
Oh,
on the Pacific
God.
Coast where I can sometimes watch until, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. But yes,
Yeah.
it was super, super fun. I will not say anything because I don't want to spoil anything.
I think it's fair. Just leave it. It was super fun.
Yeah.
And see.
I will say something that is 100% not a spoiler because they have announced that the next couple of weeks they're doing that special, I think it's a 4-part miniseries. No, they already
wait, that's right. That already happened.
Yeah, so the thing that they're doing is the 4-part special of
Alexandria, right?
it's the Calamity special that Brendan Lee Mulligan is DMing. It has a whole bunch of guest stars. And so not only is that happening, and that already got announced, but because of that, because they're doing that for basically the next, I think it's 3 weeks. And then the last week of next month is when they're coming back with regular episodes.
Oh, fun.
So if you missed out on last night's episode or on part of it, you actually have a little bit of time to catch up before they go back to regular episodes.
Lovely. How nice.
Yeah. Which is super helpful for those longer shows.
Fair. Okay, so I'm putting away the monodrone. I am done with my Stonewall Gray.
Yep, I'm just cleaning my brush now.
Ooh. Go for it. And then we're gonna grab leather brown. And go
Just
back
straight
to
up
the
leather brown?
Straight up leather brown.
All right. Where are you? There you go.
No spoilers. We're definitely not doing spoilers. We're not the spoiling type.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with Evil Turnip. I'm only around 300 episodes behind.
Oh.
No, I feel like I try to be reasonable about spoiling things that just happened.
Yeah.
I'll try to be a little more, if it's like several months old, and this kind of goes for a bunch of things, I'll try to talk about it a little bit more. But the episode just happened last night, so
yeah, that's super fresh.
yeah. Or like if movies, I try not to talk about movies until they're available on streaming and for ease of access.
Yeah.
TV shows, I try to avoid talking about them for at least a couple of weeks, and then even then, I'm gonna be that person who's like, hey, are you okay with spoilers about this?
Yeah. No, I think that's a good way to handle it.
Yeah, because you never want to accidentally
No.
spoil someone.
Absolutely not. So you can see now the leather brown is going on and it's starting to give it more of a golden tone.
Yeah.
Which is what we want.
It's interesting trying to get into the swirly bits on the back.
That's exactly what I was just noticing myself.
Yeah. I'm not always doing the best job at getting to the swirlies on the back. It's not going to show up as well on my camera, but the back of the Duo drone on the inside of it. Yeah, there we go. There are these nice patterns because you know what? Even Modrons like to, be fancy every once in a while.
Exactly.
But getting in there is hard. Getting in there and not just painting it.
Yeah. It helps if you kind of go in with an edge corner and use that to manipulate the paint into that zone. So you'll be able to bring that out, but then it's also not fully painting it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, it's tricky. I will say the pose on this one in particular is proving a wee bit more challenging.
Yeah, it's that half turn.
Yeah.
Is definitely
I say
it's a cool pose, but
it's great. It's just slightly you have to manipulate a little bit more than you would anticipate is what's going on.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna try and get to the gear.
Oh yeah, good luck. I was just there. It is impressive how much detail is on such a small mini.
Oh yeah.
We've done so many of the large to extra large size creatures that it's good to every once in a while do the tiny. I mean, they're not tiny, but like the
No, I get you,
medium
though.
sized
Yeah.
and be reminded of, oh, these may be
Exactly.
tiny, but they come in a lot.
They do. They have a lot to offer. Okay, so that is the leather brown.
I'm almost there. I'm just on the base and also fingers because I've realized I forgot the fingers.
Yeah, I just realized as I was saying, and that's the leather brown. I'm like, but there's also the back of the hands.
Yeah, but there's fingers.
Yeah. So you can see this is bringing out details even more. Put him down to dry. And then we're going to, ouch, hit my knee because that didn't feel good. Then we're going to go over to the monodrone again. And we will do dead white.
I feel like I should have a second
dry brush.
A second dry brush.
I was just thinking that.
Okay, you said dead white?
Dead white.
That's a bone white. That's a dead white. There we go.
Not to be confused with bone white. Ooh. Ooh.
No, I just realized, so a lot of these, when I shake them, I don't feel anything because they're still pretty full. We've apparently used enough of the dead white at this point.
We do use a lot of the white, yeah.
Yeah, that I felt it slosh around in there.
Yep.
It was a bit of a surprise.
Waka, waka, waka. Ooh.
Okay.
There's motion.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the monodrone. Back to the dead white.
Back to this cutie pie. Look at that face.
Hey, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the wings. Oof. All right, that's way too much. Okay.
Yeah. I actually, when it comes to white, I'm trying to show it on my hand, and my hand's pale enough where I'm flaring. If I am dry brushing with white and I have a white paper towel, I oftentimes will check on my own skin before going to the mini, just to make sure I don't have an overloaded brush by accident.
Yeah. It's a little hard for those of us who are very pale.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay. It's like, I am too pale for this white. And that's saying something. Oops. That's a little too much right there on the back. I guess that's going to be a little more streaky than I anticipated.
Yeah, you'll be surprised what happens with the next step and what we're going to do. It might be to your favor.
Let me guess, it's going to be a wash and it's going to make everything perfect.
It's going to be a glaze.
Ooh.
With the metallic.
I shouldn't drop the mini. I shouldn't drop the mini. I shouldn't drop the mini. Don't drop the mini. Don't drop the baby. Don't drop the mini. Don't drop the mini. That's my new theme song.
Well, you have that and I now have drop it like it's hot in my head, so it works.
Considering I'm usually painting over the paper plate that I use for all of my paints,
if
I drop the mini, that's bad. That's asking for trouble.
That is asking for a lot of trouble.
Yep. Don't drop the mini. All right. I might have overdone it with the white a little bit. It's not too bad, but it's definitely...
I think you'll be okay.
I think it'll be okay too, but yeah, I think I did a little bit more than I wanted to. All right, we're going to put that down before I make it even worse.
Step away from the mini.
Sometimes it's just like you just have to say, yep, and I'm done. Evil Turnip is talking about, I'd love to see more champs from Planescape Torment. It's such a great game because for those of you that don't know where Nordum is from, there was a very, very popular video game called Planescape Torment that came out many years ago. And Nordum is one of the characters that you can get in the game and is actually not an easy character to get. Not one of your starting characters. You have to go through quite a little side quest. And from what I remember and what I looked up when I was getting ready to write the blog, not only were they easy to miss, but there's also many dialogue options when you finally find them, and where they'll just be like, nah, I don't feel like following you anymore. So they're one of those, you can get them added to your party, but it's not necessarily easy. So if you manage to get Nordum in your party, cheers unto you. It's a lot easier in Idle Champions where you just have to play their adventure.
Yeah. Yep. Just play the game. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse that one, and then we're gonna go back to the Duodrone. We're gonna do Bone White. Bone White.
And straight up bone white again?
Straight up bone white.
I like it.
I'm gonna change my paper towel because I got a little exuberant.
Timno says, to be fair, the nameless one was not a very sympathetic protagonist. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depended on the dialogue that you picked, although Planescape Torment didn't give you... It's not like... If people are thinking about like modern BioWare games, like Mass Effect, you don't get quite as many options and quite as much leeway as you do nowadays. But yeah. Yeah, and there's some strife in the party. It's not necessarily a party that is going to follow you no matter where you go. But yeah, it was a fun game. It is also very much a game for adults. It is one of those games where it's got gore, it's got some horror to it. I mean, it is called Planescape Torment. So do not think that just because it is an older game that it is for youngins. Definitely check it out. It is very, very cool. I know friend of the show, DM Jazzy Hands, aka Eugenio Vargas, aka one of the wonderful people behind Familiar Quest Familiars.
Yes, Pest
was playing some of it on his channel recently as one of the games that he was playing. He's kind of been going through a bunch of them, and so I know he was doing that. So if you want to kind of check it out,
yeah,
he's got a character going in the game. As far as other champions from the game, I don't know. I do not know, but if you're interested in that, definitely let us know, like you did in the comments here, or let me get the drink. Come to our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions.
I can drink today.
Because we have a whole suggestion channel. And while the process for adding a champion to the game is a many month-long process, it is not fast. We are always interested in what champions you are looking for, and people have suggested champions or shows or books or movies or TV shows or whatever, and we have gone and looked at it and been like, yeah, let's look into this champion. And while it may have taken months and months and months to get them on in, they were from audience suggestions. So just because it takes a while for a champion to get on in there does not mean that it wasn't from someone coming to the comments, coming to the suggestions and being like, hey, I think you should have these people because they're super cool. And also their champions are super cool because we like working with super cool people.
We really do.
Yeah, good people are...
good to have.
They're good to have. They're also the prime reason we end up working with people. It's like, I like these people. They're fun to work with. They seem like good humans. Let us do things with them.
To that one, absolutely. Okay, so we're getting there.
Yeah.
And then what you're gonna do is same mini. We're gonna take this to the bone white, but we're going to be very careful. And we're going to float this on the high points. And what we really want to work on is bringing out the edges going on here, especially around the square points. So I'm actually going to move to a smaller dry brush that I have for this.
Okay.
Take it back. I'm moving to a smaller dry brush that I have.
I will be doing a good job of washing this one as I only have the one dry brush.
Okay.
Actually,
I'm moving to my number
brushes,
2.
but they're bigger.
Oh, okay.
I have bigger dry brushes. This is the smallest one. Well, now I have a goal. The next time I head to my friendly local game store.
You don't have the number 2 anymore from your Mod Podge grouping?
Is that a smaller one? Because it looks like the
it
same
is.
size.
No, it's a smaller one.
Oh, okay then. Never mind. I do. Hold on. Hold, please. I thought they were the same size.
Please.
Oh yeah. Holy shit! It is smaller.
Yep. So what I'm doing is I am just taking the edge of this brush and gliding it on
the
edge here.
And so only the edges of the
Yeah.
boxes.
Yeah, just
Okay.
bringing out anything that's like a super sharp edge that you want to really highlight. Run it along that.
Okay.
And then the other thing I'm going to do is as I get, because you can see there's sort of like this goggle effect happening at the top here. So I'm going to hover that above the goggles. Like that. To kind of bring out that conical shape. And then, provided the spear doesn't get in my way, I'm going to pull the white down across the face to highlight the face a little bit more, but only in the downward motion.
Only in the downward motion.
Only in the downward motion. So it actually highlights more of the face itself.
Excuse me, spear.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep
those eyes and those lips.
Yep.
Those lips that always freak people out. Some people have very strong opinions about Modrons with fleshy lips.
But they're a mix of biological and mechanical.
I know, but there are people who they see human mouths in places that human mouths usually are not, and they are that is a thing that creeps people out.
I didn't realize that creep people out. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh yes. Human teeth and human mouths. And I do know there are people who very specifically Modrons that have these the mouths. They're like, wait, what? Are we only doing the box on the top, or are we also
we're
doing the box
all on the bottom? Anything that has a sharper looking edge to it, that's what I really want to try and get this dead white on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I've even done it like here on the hand where the gears are.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the highest points of the hands, I'm getting them. There's a little detail here at the spear. Same thing for the spear's edge.
I feel like I'm doing the coloring within the lines thing, and where you just start by outlining.
Yeah, it kind of has that feel to it, definitely. And also at the base of the feet. Now, I'm not going to go in with bone white on the base, or the dead white, I'm going to say, sorry. Dead white on the base. We're done with the base in terms of stopping at bone white with that one.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. There's just a few certain points I want to make sure definitely get this dead white highlight.
You know, it's a box. It should be very easy to be like, I've done all the faces of the box, and yet I just found a face I totally missed.
Oh, it happens. The thing is, we also get distracted working around other bits.
Yeah.
That it definitely is like, oh, but wait a minute, maybe not there.
And we're not trying to get it in the swirlies.
You can glance it over the swirls a little bit if you want to. That's totally cool, but not too terribly much.
Okay. I kind of want to, but also I don't know if I can.
That's fair. Honestly, this step I tend to spin it around a little bit more, and I might add as I go along, like, let me add a little bit more of the white to that one.
I'm gonna take a look at
questions.
No, I'm just checking out where you're going to make sure that I haven't forgotten any sections, or I haven't looked at anything and gone, nah, not there, and it's actually, yes, go there. Oh, inside of the knees.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, that's the place that's the place you will look. You'll be like, how did I miss the inside of the knees?
And even on the feet, there are these fun there's this gap that's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you go there, you can bring the edges out a little bit more. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Oh, I need a tea break. It's allergy season, folks, and I'm feeling a tickle in the back of my throat. So,
Coffeena says, a coworker I had had a falling out with her sister over a spoiler. Her sister was angry because she wasn't invited to a movie night, so she shouted who the murderer was, and they weren't on speaking terms for 2 years.
Holy moly.
I mean,
Drama.
there's a lot of in the wrong there. Wow.
Yeah.
That is.
Whoa.
I kind of wonder what the movie was.
Right?
Like to have that much of a obviously if the spoiler is who the murderer is, we're talking about a murder mystery, but I am
Get back.
Now I'm kind of curious.
Sorry, I had my duo drone run away.
No, run away. But yeah, I mean, spoilers suck.
Mm-hmm.
One of the fun things, though, well, the good things. So my lovely partner is a much larger movie buff than I am.
Oh yeah, very well versed.
And well, not just well versed, just will go. Movies are one of his go-tos for relaxing and doing stuff, and they're not necessarily mine. And also, I am not one of those people who, if I'm not going to go see a movie, I'm not that concerned about spoilers. And so what has become one of our favorite things to do is for him to go see a movie that I'm, maybe moderately interested in, but I really don't care so much. Mm-hmm. And then he just gets the chance to spoil the whole thing for me.
There you go.
But with that whole, are you sure you're not going to see it? No. Okay, go for it.
You sure?
It's like safe spoilers.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. Safe spoilers. I like that.
Yeah. And then he gets the joy of telling me all about this movie that he loved and getting all excited about it. And I get the joy of hearing him be all happy about it. And then I don't have to see the movie.
Fair.
Yeah. Partnership. All right. I think I need to stop because...
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think I'm getting to the point where I'm going to hit the pause button.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we want this to dry for a hot minute, but heads up, you do want to make sure you get out your Sepia, Seraphim Sepia. Wash.
Sepia Wash. Okay, hold on a second.
Get that going, and I'm going to rinse this brush.
Sepia, where are you? I did not pull out any washes.
And we're also going to move over to the detail brush.
Nope. What color is sepia again?
Seraphim Sepia. It's like a yellowish brown. Do you have that one?
I might not have this one.
Oh, okay. Then yours will come out looking more like a copper than a bronze then.
I'm okay with this.
So then you'll want your Agrax. Your Agrax shade.
Agrax shade. Okay, wait. Yes. That one I do have.
Agrax shade.
I got it. For those who don't have any washes, what are they going to want to use to make this wash?
You're going to want to create a very yellowy brown wash. So you could take Beastie Brown, add in a touch of yellow to give it it looks like a sepia wash on a photograph. I'll show you. Going back to why am I so pale right now?
I mean, I am a white person. I cannot help with that. I'm an indoor white person.
It's basically this yellowish brown.
Yeah.
Like you would see in a sepia tone photo. So before we do let me close the wash. Always close your washes when not in use. I'm going to close the wash. And remember how we were talking about that fleshy bit for the mouth and everything?
Why, yes. Yes, I do.
We're going to go back to the, let's see here. Let's do bone white. Thin out bone white. So it's nice and thin like a glaze.
Where are you, bone white?
Okay, that means like when a glaze is used, it will go over, but it won't completely blur out the color underneath.
Okay.
So we're going to make that thin, and we're going to paint that glaze over the mouth area.
Just over the lips?
Just over the lips and the chin area here.
Oh, I gotta get a tiny, tiny brush for this.
Yeah, you'll definitely want smaller.
Aw, Peregrine 5 says, I can't always watch all the videos, but I wanted to say that you guys are really talented. It's a pleasure to see that. Aw, thank you. For those that miss it, I will say we do have all of our shows up on our YouTube channel. So if you wanted to catch up on a specific show and, paint along with us, but maybe you missed Modron Part 1, you can go to our YouTube.
Exactly.
But thank you. That is very, very kind.
That is. So
Now
we
I'm
do
gonna
that.
try to catch up on mouth.
On mouth. And then I'm going to jump back to the dead white. And there are those two little twofers. You gotta give those two little twofers.
Oof, this mouth.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that there were teeth until you just said that. I was like, I had no idea that this Modron had teeth.
2 through 1. And a 2 for 2.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm not going to be able to talk while I'm doing this. Arrgh.
So we have the two twofers. You can see right there. And believe it or not, inside those goggles, eyeballs. So you're going to want to go in with white as well into the goggles to get the eyeballs.
All right.
I know, I just tipped my brush.
It happens.
It happens. It's what I do.
Bonk. And bonk. Hey! I made one bigger than the other. Okay.
The teeth or the eyes?
Okay, there we go. The eyeballs.
Oh.
There we go.
That's okay.
But now they're better. With my tiny little brush.
Go back in and do some other stuff anyways, so don't worry. Get the whites of their eyes.
I never knew I'd be talking about Modrons in such a fearsome way. The whites of their eyes. Naskin is asking, anyone remember the D&D Blood and Magic game?
Oh.
Not offhand, no, but now I'm interested.
Yes, I am intrigued. Please share.
There were a lot of D&D video games all over the place.
See, I knew about D&D video games before I realized that they were D&D video games. Because I grew up Roman Catholic, folks. D&D, that was a name that was not mentioned in my house.
Even for those of us who did not grow up Roman Catholic, trying to get others to play D&D was very difficult in the 80s because of that.
Because of things, yeah.
Because of things and stuff.
Yep, because of things and stuff. Okay, so we have that going, and now I'm going to make a little glaze. Still using my detail brush, if you have your Beastie Brown still out. And we're going to put that onto the spear.
Where is that going? Oh, the shaft of the spear?
Yep, the shaft of the spear.
Okay.
Oops. I hiccuped. Quickly.
I hiccuped and now the paint job is ruined!
No, I just quickly adjusted. But again, you want that to be a glaze. You don't want it to be a full throttle, opaque everything out, because you do want some of that highlighting work that you've just created to play through. But yeah, it was video games that got me into what I then realized later on was D&D.
Yeah, even if it wasn't a straight-on D&D video game, playing any RPG video game, the Final Fantasy series, the Dragon Quest series, any stuff like that, that was also not my introduction to D&D, but my continued love of it for sure.
Yeah.
How did I get that splotch of there? No. The spear in a weird spot has a splotch of white that I must have.
Oh, whoopsie.
Yeah. Oh well, I can kind of make that go away. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Now, are we going all the way to the tip of this spear?
What I am doing is I am painting the shaft itself up into this little funky barrel thing right here, because there's a little bit here behind the hand. I am going to then get also the nub at the back here.
Okay.
There's a little pommel, I guess is what we'd want to call it. Pommel.
Yeah.
There.
I mean, it's already a weird spear, what with it having holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got some interesting details going on here.
We talked about that on Wednesday, about the holes in the spear. We actually
For the
got...
Monodrone, yeah. It's interesting. For weight and for making it carrying.
And also just cool.
Yeah.
I think in this case it is just
cool.
you know, you've got a mechanical being, and so why not give their spear holes like they're full of gears?
You for it. Absolutely go for it. All right, so we have that. To dome. To dee to da to doom. And now, this is where, what color eyes do you want them to have?
Well, what do we got in the...
There's ultramarine blue, which is kind of they look like they're blue-ish. Yeah, they look like they're blue in the official artwork. So if that's the case, you can take your ultramarine blue. You might, if you want to keep it true blue, you can keep it that true blue. You could lighten it up to a sky blue. I think I might have fun and go with green, to be honest.
I'm gonna go blue because I really like that blue in the art, especially for the Monodrone.
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing the Duodrone right now.
Oh, we're sticking to that.
Yeah.
God, it looks like one eye is blue and one eye is gold. You know what? I'll stick with blue.
Yeah. Whatever you want.
And so just straight up ultramarine
blue if you want to. Yep. Just we're gonna do a little iris work here now. Not iris, our beholder. The actual iris in the eye. Not this.
Not
this.
Yeah. Okay. The tiniest of work now. Do I have a smaller brush than this? No, I think this is my smallest. Okay.
And again, this is where I recommend hold your breath.
Yeah. All right, chat. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment as we take care of the eyes. I'll give you a topic.
The Prince of Tides is neither about princes nor tides.
I was trying to do one of those, except Monodrone or Modron related. You know what? We'll do an Idle Champions topic because Nordum has been out for a couple of days. I would like to know, how far along are you in getting your Nordum into all purples? How is that coming? Because I know that is always a thing. I know it's what I'm trying to do. And then now I'm going to hold my breath and try to do these eyes.
Yep. And once you do that, then you can go back in and then do the pupils with a little dot of black. And I practice honestly on my hand sometimes just to make sure that my dotting is working appropriately. Did I even get there?
Okay, maybe. I might have gotten a little bit on the goggles on this guy.
Oop.
Okay, and then are we also doing the Monodrone right now, or are we holding off on the eye and the Monodrone?
We are going to do the Monodrone in a little bit.
Okay. I will hold off.
I was not ignoring you. I was dotting eyeballs.
I figured I was asking after I'd already been like, and now no one is going to talk as we do the thing.
Okay, so we have that. And then I'm going to have a little fun here.
Okay.
And since I pulled out the green, I'm going to do some green on the base. So I'm going to glaze my green.
And this is the dark green?
The dark green, yep. I'm going to turn the dark green into a glaze. And I'm going to paint it onto the base. Not with a detail brush, though. Just with like a number 2 or a 3 if you have it.
Yeah. And which base are we doing?
This is still the Duodrone.
Okay.
There's a reason why we're finishing this one up.
Duodrone is getting
all
the love right now.
Yep.
Oh, we also don't have names for these.
These
don't.
Suckers.
I will also take name suggestions from anyone in chat if anyone is so inclined.
I think I might have one. We'll see. I want to see what others come up with, but I have a backup plan.
Okay. Meanwhile, Base time. Ooh, God, it's kind of fun to see just this bright, well, it
That's
looks
why I
bright
thought it'd be
green to me.
fun. Yeah, it will get muted down a little bit because of the wash we're about to do.
Yeah.
But I thought with the golden tones of the browns, it'd be fun to have a little bit more of a vibrant base going on.
Yeah. And it definitely stands out after all the brown and all
Yeah.
the brown and
Yeah.
white on this. That's super cool.
Yeah. But again, making it a glaze so that all of the highlighting work that we did with the dry brushing will come through as this dries, so you don't miss the
Yeah.
details.
Oh, we've got many. Okay, so Nefarious says Ed Modron. We've got Banyan who says Clink and Clank.
Oh my god, that's adorable. Okay.
Let's see. Coffeena suggests Moody and either, I think, Dodo. Moody and Dodo. Joan of Arc suggests Morty the Monodrone. I mean, I kind of like Morty.
Cute. That's cute.
Yeah.
Clink and Clank is kind of appealing to me. It's that or Henny and Penny.
Yeah, Clink and Clank is really good, but then it makes me think of Ratchet and Clank for some reason.
Honestly, that's why I am pausing, because of Ratchet and Clank.
But that's okay.
Yeah. Still a fantastic suggestion. I'm not saying anything other than that. Yes, so we're going to let that dry just a touch.
Okay.
Let that one dry.
Yeah.
Because I want to get all those other little details in to let it have its dry time before we do the wash time.
Arcane Slayer also thought of Ratchet and Clank. J-Dog says Clink and Schultz.
That's something. My brain's going, that means a thing, but I don't want to connect the dots.
That's a Hogan's Heroes. It's a Hogan's Heroes reference.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know nothing. Nothing. Oh, Werner Klemperer. Oh. If you ever get a chance, read up on the life of Werner Klemperer, who's the guy who played Clink in Hogan's Heroes. A fascinating guy. Anyway.
Ooh. Anyways, so now we're going to go to our little monodrone. This cutie pie here. In this case, I'm actually going to thin out the leather brown and put that onto the monodrone's mouth.
Okay.
We're going to do things in some couple different ways, because they're each unique in their own way.
All right, back to the tiny brush.
Yep, tiny brush. Glaze it out for the leather brown. And then I'm going to apply this to the mouth area.
My mixing brush is getting a lot of attention today. Yes. Okay.
As it should.
Oh, geez. Okay, mouth, you're all the way down there.
As opposed to where?
No, it's maybe I'm seeing it in a different spot than you. Okay.
That's the mouth. Right underneath the eye?
So underneath where you've just painted brown, there's like a little, what I think is the mouth, but I think that's just me looking at it in a different way. Oh, damn. I didn't even notice that. That's awesome.
Those are lips. Right there.
All right, lips. Let's do this.
Over the mouth, through the gums.
Because honestly, I was going to go for that little, what is obviously now to me, the outline of the monodrone, just a little circular thing. I was just like, yeah, that's the mouth right there. But no.
Oh, interesting. So sort of like what is the chin, I guess you'd call it, like the little chin dimple.
That's exactly what I was thinking was the mouth. I was like, it's so small.
No, I got a big old mouth right here.
Big old mouth. There we go.
You got it? So you have that. Once again. And then this is going to continue now that we've gotten the mouth. There's also these spots up here. And what will be the forehead sort of thing.
Oh, so fill in the whole thing in those two spots on the sides? Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
For the fleshy zones. For lack of a
Now
better
that is
word.
something you never thought that you'd say until you
Right?
started painting minis or playing D&D. The fleshy
The
zones.
fleshy zones.
The zones of flesh on your monitor.
Uh-huh. So again, we're gonna do a little bit more detail work through here. So now that I have that, I'm gonna go in and do the eye, but this one has a more pronounced eye, as you can see. So this little crescent shape here, that is going to get white. And then you have this full moon shape here. That will be your iris. And then the recessed crater, that's your pupil.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to start with white.
Start with white. Yep.
I'm just doing some more watching.
Yeah, we're going to get quiet, or I'm definitely going to get quiet so I can focus.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Naskin suggests Mo and Drone for the two Modrons. I kind of like that, too.
That's cute.
Gray all-shaped. I appreciate the idea that the code today should be giving two Modron chests instead of an Electrum. I will say there was the code from Wednesday, from the day of streaming to celebrate, that was two Modron chests and a whole bunch of Modron component pieces. So I think that that code is still floating around somewhere. And that should, the supercharged one, and that should still be active.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to get quiet as I'm going to try to do this. Here we go. My turn.
I'm going to stick with green. I think the green was cute, so I'm going to keep doing the green eye.
Okay, so it's the white half circle, and then what was the full moon?
The full, like the round globe shape.
Yeah.
Is going to get the green.
Doing
right now. Yep. Or the blue, if you're doing blue.
Oh, yeah, this is where I want to do the blue because the pupil's going to be black, right? Okay, all right. I don't know why that confused me. Why are you confusing me today, Modrons? Why?
It has its power on you.
Yeah.
So now we have the cute little green going. Ta-dum. Ta-dum, ta-dum, ta-dum.
There we go, blue.
Oh, there we go. The Modron command is still working. The exclamation Modron gets you the other code.
Yay!
Thank you so much, Finnerscullen.
Thank you.
And now I'm going to do the pupil as black, which means I'm getting quiet.
We've continued to be quiet. When you stop being quiet, Evil Turnip Tea has a question. They want to know, what is the object you're using to hold the mini? Have you tried hobby painting handles? And while you finish your eye poking, I will say, if you are looking...
I spoke with my face. I just caught myself on camera. Okay, so what I am using is actually, it's this fantastic device from Redgrass Games. However, wait, where did the face go? It's this lovely handle thing, which for some reason, I used it. It's on another mini. I have a whole bunch. It's this cap that goes onto this beautiful ergonomic handle that sits nicely in my hand, and it makes it so much more comfortable. However, because I have a camera rig right in front of me, the magnetic handle goes dunk against my camera, and then fun things start to happen. So what I have found is that the caps to these, you can see this is where it would hook right into the handle. The caps to that ergonomic handle, I can still use them to hold on, and then I am not magnified and hitting my rig. And it's also just easy to turn. When this is normally on the handle, you can spin these, no problem. It just spins around and around and around. The hobby handles, I don't like. That was what the face was. I do not like them. I know others rave about them. That is fantastic. But I'll always say this about tools of the trade. If you find something that works for you, use it. If you find something that doesn't work for you, stop using it. There is no point in getting frustrated over something just because other people are using it doesn't mean it's going to work for you, because hands are a very individual, unique thing to each person, and how your muscles work is very unique and individual to you. So you may find that one thing works beautifully for you and someone else will be like, yeah, nope, don't think so. And that's okay. So yeah, this is what I'm using. It is part of the Redgrass Games ergonomic handle 360 handle. I'm not using the other half of it because, again, it attaches to
Junk.
things.
Whereas I'm using the slightly less expensive option, or more expensive, depending on, which is the former pill bottle,
Yep.
Devoid of pills, and then with a bunch of the sticky tack on the top, which works great, and I have them because my partner and I are in our 40s. We have a variety of sizes of pill bottles for a variety of sizes of minis.
That happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got a big one and the medium ones. Okay, what are we doing next?
I'm gonna make that silver. So let's get out the silver. No, it's fine. Let's get out the silver, and we're gonna paint the spear silver.
Okay.
And I'm gonna leave it up to you because we have silver, but we also have gunmetal silver.
What's the difference?
Gunmetal silver is darker. So if you want, I think I might go bright silver because we're doing a brighter gold.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
This is like our shiny new Modron. So I'm going to do silver over the spear area. Now, normally metallics tend to be thinner in coverage as it is, and that one, yes, is very thin. So I'm not going to worry about thinning out my silver. I'm just going to do a nice thin coat on the spear, and we should still have all that highlight work still play through.
Okay. And this is the entire spear, including...
The entire spear, yeah.
All right. Evil Turnip says, just Gen X things definitely relate. Yeah, you get to a certain age. And that's just a part of life is, medications. And it happens. I use the pill bottles for minis. My partner uses the pill bottles as places to put nuts and seeds in, so that when he goes to feed his squirrels and his birds, he doesn't have to have a big bag or anything, which totally makes sense. But it has gotten to the point in where the birds and the squirrels do recognize that if there's a pill bottle in someone's hands,
adorable,
they're getting a treat. They're getting a treat. Yeah. Yeah, it's adorable, but they're very needy. Luke spoils them so much, which is very evident right now as he is out of town at the moment. I am taking...
I didn't think about that part. You're on squirrel duty.
Yeah. I mean, there's only so much that I can do with the squirrels and the birds. It's just I basically try to leave almonds and seeds out at the appropriate places. But yeah, they're needy. I come into the living room and there's just squirrels standing at the door doing this. I'm like, geez, gang, come on. Come on. My office is a little far away for all of you. You got to give me a chance. But I want to know,
is the duck still there?
I have not seen the duck, but that doesn't mean the duck isn't still there because... So Luke's office is the dining room because we only have a 2-bedroom apartment. And so I ended up with the other bedroom because when we first moved in, he was still working outside of the apartment. He was still working somewhere else. And so now his office is the dining room. And so he has easy access to the living room back door to see all of the critters.
Right.
Whereas I am fairly far away. So when they jump onto the screen door, when they knock, by jumping onto the screen door, going...
When they knock.
When they... he calls it knocking. I call it jumping onto the screen door. Either way, when they do that, I don't always hear it, but he does. So he is better about... being there for creatures, and the duck I think requires a little bit more attention than the squirrels. I can put the nuts just outside and the squirrels are happy, and I can put the bird seed in the bird feeder and the birds are happy, but the duck seems to want a lot of attention. So
that's a riot.
So it's very possible the duck is just not at all interested in being around when it's just me.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, my partner, the druid.
I mean, hey, I understand. Still laughing over Todd's reaction. That was funny. What was that sound? Todd, it was a bird.
Yep.
That was a bird.
Yep.
I do have ridiculously loud birds around me, and I have a lot of animals because I'm like up in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's the fox kits are gonna be coming around soon, I'm sure.
Ooh.
Baby foxes. So what I've just done is I did a very thin glazed out bone white on the wing of the monodrome, and I'm gonna do the same to the other wing. While you were chatting, I did that. Very thin bone white.
Very, very thin bone white.
Yeah.
Where are you, bone white?
Basically that nice off-white color. Creamy color.
Oh, I already have. I got a glaze of bone white.
Yeah. We've already done that because of the mouth on the other one, so.
Yeah.
You want that. And just put it onto the feathers.
All these details.
I know, right?
It's super cool, but oof, lots of details.
There really are a lot of details happening on these. But it's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, can we talk about what we're doing next week? While we're painting this week. I'm just thinking in case anyone wants to join us. So next week, we're going to have some fun with a Displacer Beast. Again, it's the WizKids one.
Yeah.
So snag yourself a Displacer Beast. And the paint colors, if they're not already in the Discord.
They should be.
They should be?
Not,
okay.
And if I'm wrong, I will fix that very quickly. But I thought I did that when you gave me them.
Oh, good. So you can find out what the paint colors are. And believe it or not, I'm actually excited for this one. I'm walking on air. Tangent.
Had to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to set me off. It really doesn't. So basically, I'm excited to do the Displacer Beast. I don't know why my tongue wants to stumble over that one. Is because a lot of times people will ask me, especially when they go to paint miniatures that are supposed to be black. There are ways to take a miniature and it's not just slap a coat of black paint on and it's done. There are ways of bringing out the details and making them look really interesting and eye-catching by doing more than just black on the mini. So we're going to be doing that with a Displacer Beast next week, and it should be a one and done.
Ooh.
Yeah, just by the nature of how the beast is, and not the nature of the beast, mind you.
But the nature of that beast.
The nature of that particular beast and its form, it's a lot easier to get painted up.
Yeah, I think black and white, black creatures and white creatures are the ones that when you go to paint, it's like, well, wait a second.
It's going to be kind of boring.
It can't just be all white or all black. That doesn't make any sense.
They really aren't. So that's why I'm excited to do that one next week to kind of show what else can be done with them. Okay, so that takes care of the wings.
Yeah, just make Modron noises as I show off my Modron.
And then what I'm going to do is, do you still have that green?
I do.
I'm going to do the same thing to that base. So I'm going to do the base, and then we will do the gold detail.
Okay.
Oh, there's that brush I was using. I'm like, where's the brush I had been using before?
Evil Turnip says, Modron monodrones could be role-played like the personality cores from Portal 2. I mean, anytime I get to go space is always fun. Yeah. I love those personality cores. Those are super fun. I haven't played Portal and Portal 2 in a very long time, but that was such a fun game.
It was a fun one to watch.
I feel like puzzle games like that, the only bad thing about it is unless you're looking to like speed run or do something very specific, it's not the kind of game you can play again. It's not there's not a lot of replayability.
It's true. Yeah, it really is true with that type of stuff.
But I had so much fun playing it the first time, so it is easy for me to recommend to people. Be like, yes, you have to play this, even if you're not into puzzle games, just because the characters are so good.
Yeah.
And it is a puzzle game, but it's not like any other puzzle game I've ever played. And even when you get stuck, you're hearing story and there's other things going on that just are super fun. So yeah, I could definitely think about Modrons as one of those cores, especially like rogue Modrons who have lost their way and are no longer connected and are just like, I think some of those Some of those personality cores would be perfect for that.
Yeah. That's a fun idea.
And
Okay.
Gusto Punch has a question for you about that holder. What holds the mini in place?
Oh, very easy. You remember poster tack from when you were in school and your teacher used to be like, hey, hang this poster up? That stuff. It's just
I'm using
tack.
basically the same thing.
Yep, except it's orange as opposed to blue tack. Their tack is orange. I don't know why. But yeah, that's all that holds it on is just a little bit of, let's see if I can, there you go. You can see it right underneath there. See that flash of orange? That's all it is. And it comes off. And if for some reason it sticks to the bottom of your base, once your mini's dry, you can just take the tack that you did get off and use it to blot off the residue. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go to gold.
Ooh, it's gold time.
Time for the gold. And our monodrone, still monodrone, is going to be this bright, shiny new monodrone. And we're going to use the polished gold, which is just a true bright gold if you're looking for a generic color. And we will, again, I'm going to double check this one and see what the coverage is like before I actually paint onto it. If it's thicker, I do want to thin it out because I don't want this to obliterate that highlighting work we just did.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to test. Yeah, it's thin enough. You can see the gray still playing through. All right, so it's thin enough, at least for mine.
Yay.
And I'm going to start adding this to everything else that isn't painted yet on the monodrone.
Okay.
So yeah.
Ah, here comes that gold. Yes.
And again, this is where we're using the metallic paints on the monodrone.
And for those who are wondering, we're using the Vallejo paint line.
Game color line, yep.
The game color line. And the set that I'm using is the same one that we recommend. If you go to the Discord, discord.gg/ILChampions, which I will drink in a second. Mm-hmm. If you go there, you can see the set that we're using, which includes this gold and the silver and everything. Yep. And a couple of colors that, you can mix up or get in other places. Yeah. But it's kind of nice that it comes with. And this is a really pretty gold.
It is. I'm going to use the detail brush around the face, and I'll probably move up to the bigger brush for the rest of the area.
Yeah, I started with the back because I thought it'd be fun to get that smooth bit in there. So
you do like the smooth zones.
I kind of do. It has a really nice feel to it.
I understand it. No, it's interesting. You're falling into your patterns as your own independent painter.
Oh, I'm my own independent painter now.
Yes.
Soon I will fly free and come up with my own ways of painting things.
Which I'm all for. I think that'd be fun to do.
Yeah, we have talked about a quote-unquote final exam of like, okay, you go ahead and paint this mini now on your own.
Yep.
See what happens.
Teacher's away. Here's the not even going to leave a lesson plan. I'm just going to say paint the mini.
Paint this mini. Go. I mean, that's what we were thinking about doing with the owlbear originally, is we were gonna Trevor and I were gonna do an owlbear all on our own. And we're still gonna, the owlbear will happen.
Yes.
Because it's an owlbear. How can you not, you know? Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go to a detail brush too when I go to the face, but I'm still working on arms and things.
Yeah, you'll also want it for the wings.
Oh,
detail brush on the wings. Yeah.
No, I got on the spear. Oh. No.
Oh, noes.
Get off my spear.
Wet brush trick.
Yep. I'm trying to be as fast as possible. There we go.
Yeah, if you ever stray a little bit with paint, take a clean brush and wet it down with some water, and you can pull away the paint, the offending paint color. You catch it in time.
The offending paint. It helps that this gold, because it isn't because it is a little thinner than some of the other paints, it was pretty easy to just grab real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think in a moment I'm gonna have to go to a detail brush when I want to get around those places. Also, Garwar, thank you. I am a big grown-up painter now. Yay!
I'll grow it up.
Oh, grown up. All right, we're switching brushes. We're going to the
Go for
details. I know we've gone past the eyes at this
Mhm.
point. Whoops. But we did have Arcane Dragon Slayer asking, could you
Yes.
explain in more detail how to paint the eyes?
How to paint the eyes. Oh, eyes are always a fun thing.
Yeah.
Well, there are various ways to paint eyes. Because we worked with darker colors first, that gave depth to the recesses that I need. So sometimes what I'll do when it comes time to painting eyes, I will actually first put black into the socket of the eye, then go back in with white and get as close to the edge as I can. And it creates this nice little delineation between the eyes and the flesh. You don't want it to look like eyeliner. That means there's too much black left, but it helps kind of give a more recessed look to the eye by doing that. And then I will go in and I will draw the iris, and then I will do the pupil as the last thing to the eyes, is how I will do eyes. Just sort of a quick in general trick. So hopefully that answers your question on that one. But then there are other ways to do it. There are some people who actually start right smack off with the eyes, and they will do kind of what I explained, but they'll overshot, and then they go back in and they put the flesh tones over the eyeballs area to give it a different edge, or a more controlled edge, which again, it's another method that I've watched others do and works for sure for them, which is great. So there's a few different ways to approach how to do eyeballs.
Eyeballs are also one of those things that I've had to go back to the mantra of it's just paint. It's just a mini.
Yep.
You can always do it again.
Yeah. And it helps to hold things. You may have seen I was holding it upside down at a couple points because it just makes it easier to see the details as opposed to seeing it as an eyeball. It's just the way the human brain likes to work. You can also steeple, which is where you use pressure points, or you place pressure on points in your hands to act as a way to stabilize your hand a little bit more. So I've steepled my pinkies together. I'm steepling my wrists together, and that gives me more control for more finite motions and movements. So that's a little trick when you're painting. I'm trying to think of what else for eyeballs that are good tips and tricks off the top of my head.
Apparently, don't breathe, as we both did that.
If you hold your breath for a count of 10 and then breathe and then hold your breath again until you get the job done. Please just don't hold your breath until you get the job done, because you might wake up and there's a mini next to you on the floor.
But it's done. But the mini is done.
But is it? But is it really?
But yeah.
So yeah, there's I'm trying to think if there's any other tricks that I can think of.
No, as we think of more, we'll do more. But that's all the ones that's
what's standing out for me.
Yeah. I kind of take a closer look at what you're doing around the face, because I know you said go for all the places that we haven't painted, and I'm having that moment of, but we painted everything.
Oh, the painted over the dry brushing areas. How's that? Does that help clear it up?
That
clear
does.
Clear it up.
That certainly does. But yeah, I did have that moment of wait a second.
That's fair. That is fair. It's funny because in my mind, I know we're painting, but the shadow layers I don't consider as the paints themselves. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because to me that's almost prep work to the miniature in my brain. So I'm like, I painting as in the color.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to think about it, though, because then you can have that delineation.
Yeah.
Whereas I immediately went for, but I've painted everything.
Yeah.
I've done it all. And actually, one more question, because I'm not sure if I can see. So, there is the wings. There is the bit that goes up that, at least to me, it looks like the feathers are attached to the
little knob at the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you paint that too. That gets gold.
Okay.
That too is golden.
That's what I thought.
You thought correctly.
Hey, that happens every once in a while. That's how we know that I'm a grown-up painter. Yay! Oh, and yes, I have thought about painting my owlbear to look like Owlbear Orchera. I have definitely considered that as an adorable thing to try.
That would be fun.
The interesting thing about it, I shouldn't say the only bad thing, but the interesting thing is the Owlbear mini is fearsome. It is in this fearsome pose, which that is a very rare thing for Akira to do. So it will be the fiercest version of her ever of all time, but I think it could be fun.
I see it as the moment where it's like Akira's like, not my friends.
Yeah.
You know? Literally going into protective mama bear and cub mode, almost.
Yeah, the few times in game that she's ever gone really, really, really angry are also usually those moments.
Yeah.
But then she usually feels bad afterwards.
Well, I mean, it's Akira, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because also when she goes there, when she gets that angry, things burn. Lots of things get set on fire.
Singeing.
Whole worlds burn, and it's a thing. So
singeing.
Yeah, but yeah, doing the owlbear as owlbear Akira could be a lot of fun.
I think it'd be adorable.
It would be fearsome adorable, but hey, it would be adorable. Come on. I'm trying
For something so small, it's surprisingly lots to cover.
Yes. It is both tiny and huge at the same time. It's trying to get these parts of this wing and not get the feathers. Rip. This gold, I don't know about your gold. This gold for me, it does have the shine through.
Yeah.
But it does want to glob onto my brush when I grab it.
If it starts doing that, rinse your brush and thin your gold.
Ah, okay.
If it's doing that to you, then you can thin it out a little bit. In fact, I just had to rinse my brush because it was globbing a bit too much.
Okay, there we go. Oof. Yeah, need to look up for a second.
Fair.
Yeah, totally Phantasmic Ghost 2. I've been wondering, are Modron wings even functional for flight, or are they just for decoration?
They were functional.
They are functional, if I remember correctly. The Modrons can fly, but it is, I think they actually are described as ungainly flyers.
Yeah, it's like
if I remember correctly.
Awkward, like little baby chick fly.
Yeah, flappity. Or they can fly, but it is more that they can hover or they can slow fall themselves, less than a true fly, but they are functional wings. I do remember that.
Kind of like chimkins.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, that's now canon in my head. I'm gonna run them like chimkins.
There you go. But yes, they are functional. I can't bring up the actual stat block at the moment because I'm desperately trying to paint around the wings. But yes, I do believe, and not all Modrons, I mean, obviously not all Modrons have wings because we're going to get to that duo drone soon and it's going to be it's going to be wingless. So, yeah, wings are fun, but they do come in all sorts of varieties of usability.
Yeah.
Oh, how did I forget the palm? There we go. I'm also impressed with how well defined the fingers are on this left hand. Like, I just had to think about getting in between the fingers.
Yeah.
But we're getting there.
Definitely. We are. We're closer and closer.
Jump assist more than long distance flying. Yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
Double crayon. I think you're right. Oh, you know what? Actually, since I'm taking a second, let's do this.
Do what?
Just quickly look up.
Are you gonna look up your
mono drone? Yeah, because now I'm really curious if I got it right. Ooh, they do have a fly of 30 feet. So it is not a ungainly flight.
I always picture them as like kind of like, heffalump and flapping.
I think you can picture them that way, absolutely.
That's interesting.
But stat block wise, they do have a flight of 30 feet.
There you go.
All right, I think
I am almost done. I need to get the one hand.
I'm definitely at that point in where if I do any more, it's going to be I'm going to be
Much too
covering
much.
up any of the work that we've done.
Fair.
But it's an interesting thing because as I look at it in the light, there's sections of it where I go, oh, I missed a whole section, and then I
Nope.
move it, and it's like, oh no, I
Yep.
didn't.
That's just it. That is why I like doing this with the underlayer of the darker tones, because it gives the metal some depth. So you get shadows and light playing through. You can see it right through here.
I did miss the front of this leg. I just saw it. Front of leg.
Just gives a little more visual interest to the mini, so it's not, it keeps it from looking like a plastic gold.
Mm. It definitely makes it hard, though, to find a spot that I've missed because I keep looking at it and going, I've missed that. Oh, nope. I've missed that.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
nope.
Nope, not that one.
Put it
Nope,
down.
Not that one.
Put it down.
Hehehe.
Everyone, putting it down.
Put the monodrone down.
Neon says, if elephants can fly, why can't Modrons? I mean, there's Loxodon, and Loxodons can get wings in multiple ways, and they can cast fly, so there you go. What?
So cute.
Yes.
It's
Mine
so
won't
dang
be as-
cute. It's almost done. We're gonna get to the washes now. So I want this to dry before we do a wash. This is why we purposely switched, because now this one is dry. So I'm gonna move on to, I have the Seraphim Sepia, and Lauren has the Agrax Earthshade. Okay. So I'm gonna use the Seraphim Sepia on this one, which is the NMM, the non-metallic metal, which is what I did on this one. And it's the Sepia Wash that helps give the more golden hue to the metal effect.
Okay.
So I'm going to, hold on. There we go. So I'm going to jump to the Seraphim Sepia. Oh, actually, let me rinse my brush.
And I'm doing the Agrax Earthshade, which is going to be...
Agrax Earthshade. So you'll get more of like a darker toned metallic look to it. Or metal look, I should say. Not metallic, metal look.
Which I'm okay with. And for someone who doesn't have either of these, what colors do you suggest?
If you want a darker brown, you thin out a brown paint. If you want more of a golden, then a golden brown paint, or add a little bit of yellow to your brown paint before you thin it out. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to be careful on the eyes. I don't want him to look jaundiced. What?
I don't know why a jaundiced robot. Okay, no, you're absolutely right. But like, I don't know why that's funny to me. But it is.
So I'm going to go around and basically, I'm not going to put it on the eyes. I will put it on the mouth, and I will avoid the teeth too.
All right, I will try to do the same. Who wants jaundiced robots?
Sick robot.
I don't even know how that would happen, but I'm here for it.
I mean, again, they have some biological parts. They got some squishy zones to them.
There we go. Okay.
But you can see on the top now, you kind of get this worn, brushed metal look as the wash takes.
Yeah. And then washing everything else.
Yep, washing everything else. The base I will do in the Agrax. I won't do the base itself with this. But everything else on the Duodrone, which one are we looking at? We'll get the sepia treatment.
And now we're back to the fun of just brushing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Washes make me so happy.
They make a lot of people happy.
I think a lot of people have the same experience I did with like their first or second mini of like, I've painted this and it looks okay. And then you come along with a wash and it's like, holy mackerel, look at what I've done. This is amazing.
The thing.
I did the thing and it's so cool. So yeah, I think there's a lot of people who have that lovely experience.
Yeah.
And become devotees of washes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I keep ending up with some of the wash pooling in corners, and so I gotta...
That actually is okay.
Okay.
because for metals, that comes to your advantage. Because if you look at metal, especially layers of metal, if it's been outdoors or anything like that, you'll see there are in the corners of machines buildup, from oils and everything like that. So that becomes to your advantage if you have a little bit of buildup happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel less upset about my buildup now. Thank you.
You're good.
I usually try to avoid those pools, but that totally makes sense.
Normally I would say no, blot that up if you can. But in this case, I actually like it to puddle a little bit if it can in certain areas.
Oh, that face.
See,
now that we've highlighted the mouth, and now that I see the mouth for what it actually is, it's actually kind of a happy smile.
It is. This cheerful little fella.
Yeah. Cheerfully poking something.
Yep. I'm gonna attack.
Oh, you're so cute. Ow.
Right?
And now here comes my 200 brethren to also attack. Wait, what?
Yeah, excuse me, beg pardon?
Yep.
Beg
pardon? I'm sorry, how many of you are coming? Well, just the 200 in my squad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I think it's probably because I'm wearing the shirt, but suddenly my Modrons sound like my character from Children of Vertec. Oh, just with that higher pitched voice.
Uh-huh. Mm. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry a little bit. I'm done with the sepia. Yep. Close it up and rinse. And then I'll jump over the Agrax. And I'm going to do the base and the Agrax. And then I will move over to the Monodrone and continue with Agrax.
Whereas I have just finished up because I'm doing the whole thing in the Agrax. Exactly. So it made at least go into the base super easy because I was just like paint. All right, close you. So we have just about 15-ish minutes left before we have to stop because we will have Garwar coming on for Garwar's Guide to Everything. So if you have any last-minute questions about anything, go ahead and get those now so that the amazing Martin can grab those for us while I clean off all of my brushes.
Yes.
And see what we can do. But if you have Idle Champions questions, you can always ask me. But Garwar is kind of an expert, so...
It's like he's got a guide or something.
It's like he's got a guide for that. And now I definitely have to drink because I've talked about both the Discord and Garwar having a guide for that.
Oh, yes, these are Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures, the D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures from WizKids mini set. They come as a pair together in a booster.
Yeah, Robotnik Korn was asking about that. That's another thing that... we put into the Discord, and I've already drank, so I don't have to do it again. But there is a Paint and Slay channel, and we'll list the specific mini we're going for. The best thing is to go to your friendly local game store and see if they have it available, and if they don't, ask to order them, because most game stores are able to get those in a fairly regular basis. You can also order them online from a bunch of places, and if you need to, because not everybody has a friendly local game store nearby, you can get them on Amazon. So
I will say before Amazon, check out Miniature Market or check out dndmini.com. That is the official WizKids Dungeons and Dragons miniature lines. Or you can go to shop.wizkids.com. Again, I recommend those first and then check out Amazon, only because I have noticed personally when I go to shop for minis sometimes the ones that are listed as WizKids are not WizKids. So just be careful when you're on Amazon is all I'm going to say, because there are some third-party people that almost sounds like it's a positive thing, but in this case it is not.
Third-party people.
Yeah.
And I see you've gone back to the Monodrone. What are we doing with the Monodrone?
Agrax on the Monodrone everywhere. And actually, you can see now the wings are really popping those feathers out.
There we go. Back to... I was taking a moment to stretch, and then I saw, you've moved on.
Yeah, I've moved on. The reason why I'm not using the Seraphim on the gold, the bright gold, because Seraphim has a yellow undertone to it. When you put the yellow undertone on top of the yellow gold, it gets garish. It gets a little bit too intense. So I like using Agrax on the polished gold because you still keep that lovely golden color, but it does not become something that looks like a child's toy as a result.
Yes, our Modrons are fabulous, but they are not garishly fabulous.
Yes.
They have a sense of style.
They do.
Phantasmic Ghost 2 says, can you imagine a swarm of Modrons coming to a party and then they do the crab rave? I mean, I would be happy if an entire swarm of Modrons came to a party. I think that they would be excellent party guests.
I am loving the crab rave reference, though. I live as I breathe. Amazing. That was good.
And Sailnit wants to know if we have any fun projects for the weekend.
I do, and I'm so excited about it. Ooh. I also have a thunderstorm brewing, so you might...
Oh, is that what that was? I thought I heard something. Yeah.
Yeah, so hey, if you don't get thunderstorms by you, maybe in for a treat in a couple minutes.
And hopefully no power loss this time.
Well, or it just keeps to our trend of what happens normally where we're just in time.
Yeah, I'll accept that. Although you're the one controlling the stream, so if we lose
I know.
If we lose you, that'll be bad.
I know. If the stream drops, I have no power.
Yeah. I don't necessarily have a fun project, but I've actually got after a bit of a drought, I actually have some good D&D and other gaming going on this weekend. I have my Saturday morning offline game should be happening. I have to double check. And Saturday afternoon, I'm actually helping run a playtest, which is exciting.
That is fun.
And then Sunday, I'm doing some recording for a thing. So I am not the kind of person who usually, I try not to talk about things where I'm like, well, I can't tell you what I'm doing, but I'm doing a thing. But yeah, this moment can't go into detail, but I am excited about having a few days with some really good D&D and something else. So I can at least talk about that and say, yay, my D&D.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so that takes care of the monodrone.
I'm almost done. I'm on the base.
Excellent.
And I tried to avoid the eye as much as possible because I like that eye is popping.
Yeah, me too. I did the same thing. As you can see.
Okay. Yay.
I'm still drying. We're still drying here with the sepia.
Yeah. Why are these always so hard to close? I think they're closed, and then I press again. I hear another, and then I press again. I'm like, wait, no, there's more.
So this is basically they're sitting with their washes right now as they dry. They're washes.
I'll grab mine as soon as I've cleaned off this brush. I try to be good about cleaning the brush immediately. I will take pictures of mine because once again, I don't have the nice. I have a nice camera. It's just for this, not for this.
Yeah, I'm also getting some flare back because of the wash being wet. But it gives you an idea of how these are looking. Now, let's talk about... I can't do it yet because we do want this to dry. Once this particular one, the Duodrone, is dry, there is a particular finish you want to do this to complete the metal effect. Otherwise, it'll dry, and it might have a little bit of a shine to it, depending on your wash, because sometimes I notice the washes will have a slight gloss, not really a full gloss. So what you want to do to this once it is dry... Do not do it until everything is dry, until even those recessed collected bits of wash are dry. You're going to purposely make sure you're using a gloss varnish or seal coat or whatever it is you want to call it. My go-to is Mod Podge Ultra. It is the liquid version of Mod Podge. It's not exactly like Mod Podge itself, like the paste you used to use in school for decoupage and whatnot, and papier-mâché. But you want to use the gloss finish because what that is going to do, and I'm going to go back to the Dargon because the Dargon is my example here. What that does is it gives you that beautiful shine that you can see happening here. So you'll want to do at least one coat. This one, I think I did 3 actually. You want to make sure you do a coat of the gloss at the very least, if not more. But again, before you do a coat, make sure the first one dries. Reason being, if you start applying coat after coat while things are still wet, you are running the risk of lifting your paint off completely because things can get sticky and you don't want to brush across and all of a sudden you're lifting off paint that doesn't want to be lifted off. But you do want to make sure for this that you get your gloss coats in, because that is what finishes off the metal look to the non-metallic metal effect.
That's cool.
And it'll really take it from a more dulled out metal look to a shinier metal. The shinier you want it, the more coats you're going to want to put on. I will mention that.
Now, you've talked about how for the Mod Podge, you don't have to use the pump action spray, that you can just use a paintbrush. And that's true for the glossy Mod Podge as well?
Yeah, let me see.
I can imagine, especially for a small mini like this.
You actually want to paint it on. You don't want to spray.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, you want to go in with a brush and paint this out. Hold on. I am trying to remove the cap, and the cap seems to have gotten very friendly with the bottle.
I would grab mine, but it's a little buried here, and
I'll show you what it looks like on the inside, because it's a good frame of reference, honestly.
Yeah.
But I just sprayed myself with Mod Podge. Yay!
You're gonna be all shiny and chrome. No, wait, that's not how that
shiny.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really all I'm giving you with that one song. Because good lord. Okay, stay put. So if you look inside the bottle, you can see it's liquid. Okay, it looks like milk. Don't drink it. It looks like milk. So we'll paint my nails. How's that? So you can literally just dip a paintbrush in. Make sure when you go to clean your brushes, use rubbing alcohol to strip the brush, and it glides right on, just like that. So it's a really great way, and I usually tend to give it between coats at least 12 hours. Personal preference. Yep. Yeah, personal preference. I try and do at least 12 hours in between coats to be sure everything is super duper dry. But yeah, you can just spray it on, or you can just paint it on. In this case, I would paint it on. If this were a miniature that like everything I know I want to be bright and glossy and shiny, then yeah, I would just spray it. But it is not like nail polish. No, Oskin, it's much thinner than nail polish. I just saw that come up in the chat, and I want to dissuade that. You can use clear nail polish on some things, but it can crack and it can flake a little bit if you're not careful. And it's not a fresh nail polish, I will say that. But yeah, this is, it sells in a couple different size bottles. I think they have, this is the 4 ounce, this is the 8 ounce. So it's a 4 ounce and the 8 ounce bottles.
I think I have the 4 ounce. Hold
yeah.
on a second, I got the 4 ounce.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's still buried. I will get it eventually.
It's okay.
So yeah. So probably the pictures that I will take, because this, how long do you suggest this first coat of, or this last
hours.
Painting?
I'd give it 24 hours before doing
24 hours before you even do the Mod Podge? Okay, good to know.
I would give it 24 hours before you start doing your seal coats, but you do want the seal coats with the gloss to happen.
Okay.
To get the shinier effect.
Weekend project,
yep. And it should only take about 15 minutes tops each round. So what I'll do is I will, even for both of them, I will do the gloss on anything that's metallic, and then I would use the matte Mod Podge, which, where'd you go? I have a feeling my cat knocked it off. Gotta go find a bottle of Mod Podge. The matte I will use on the base to mattify that and keep it a little less glossy.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And same thing, like, I might do matte on the wood area of the shaft.
Oh yeah, because that's a that's cool.
Yeah, so that's
all right.
Yeah, that's really how you want to finish these up.
Weekend project.
Yeah, one coat on this one will be fine for the monodrone. For the dodrone, depending on how shiny you want your finish to be. Again, this one for me was, I think it was 3 coats. So the more coats you do, the shinier and glossier to look. So that's that.
But they're looking good. They're looking super cool. Yay.
Look at these cutie pies. So look at those faces.
Look at those eyes.
Adorable.
Oh, yeah, the eyes.
Adorable. Yay. Morty and Marvin. I just saw Joan of Arc's Morty and Marvin.
That would be funny.
Oh, look at them back to back. That's just like amazing.
Amazing.
Too adorable.
Yay.
Every so often you get the cute ones.
Yeah. We're pretty good about making them cute too. Once you add in eyes, that can help.
It really does. Absolutely.
And then next week, Displacer Beast.
Yes. With the tentacles and all that fun stuff. So yeah, that should be cool too. And it'll show you how you can have a miniature that, the coat looks like it's black, but there's a lot more going on than just black paint. So that'll be a fun technique to take a look at as well, for sure. And because of the size of that one and not lack of details, but because we're not dealing with as many nooks and crannies, that's definitely going to be one and done, I believe, for that one. And then we have.
And then after that, do we want to talk about at least the next
one?
one?
Yeah, because it's fun.
Yeah,
I have
so
it right here too.
Displacer Beast is next week. That's a one and done, and then we're doing a Hell Wasp. Yeah,
Look at this.
It's bug time.
It is buggy bug. Now this is from Wave 17 of WizKids. I'm not sure if it is out yet. If it's not out yet, it'll be coming soon to a store near you. So WizKids has a whole bunch of miniatures that we're going to be having some fun with over the next few months.
Yes. I got a very large box. I'm excited.
Yes. This one should be a lot of fun to do because it has, I'll crack it open. I got to write notes for it on a Monday anyways. So it has your traditional mini, but here's a new thing you're going to start noticing in their bases.
Ooh, they're clear.
Base will start coming in. And then we also have, I'm excited for this. It has translucent wings.
Ooh.
So we'll have a little assembly required once we're done painting, but these are just 2 of the wings. There's actually 4 in the set, but right now my hands can only hold the 2. So we'll have the Hell Wasp itself and the wings to do in a couple of episodes.
Yeah.
After the Displacer Beast.
I am super excited about that Hell Wasp. I don't know if you still have it in your hand, can you hold it up next to one of the Modrons? Because we think of wasps and they're scary. Hell Wasps are also huge.
It's a big one.
I think it actually is large.
It is a large. Let's take a humanoid medium to help out.
Yeah.
So
it's large. Yeah. The stinger on this thing. Oof. Like if you end up playing Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus and you encounter one of these things,
the stinger is literally the size of the medium's leg.
This is not to fool around with. But you know what? That makes sense because wasps.
Yeah. And Hell Wasp.
And Hell Wasp. You didn't think wasps would get any more scary. The other thing I have to say, the last time I talked about Displacer Beasts, someone had suggested painting a Displacer Beast in Vantablack. Which I love this idea. I know we can't do it.
It'd be a true void kitty.
Right? You'd be like, look at my cat. Look at my Displacer Beast. And you're like, I can't even see it.
What? I just see a black void.
No, I see your base, but there's nothing there. I don't understand. So if anyone wants to send us any Vantablack, we will paint a Displacer Beast, but that's not a thing that we can do. No. So but that is our next week, and I will spend the weekend doing the Mod Podge, the gloss, and then by Monday, I think I'm gonna have some shiny Modrons
to share in picture form. And I'm sorry, Emfra has a fantastic reaction. More like hell no, Wasp.
I think that is the perfect place to stop because how do you top that? I don't think you do. Don't. Anyway, thank you to Martin for being our moderator for today's lovely day. Thank you, V, as always, for leading us on the wonderful excursion of painting. If you are in Canada, enjoy your long weekend. And if you're not, enjoy your weekend. And we'll see you later.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.